All right, so let's start a new video. We're gonna do some upgrades to the old 4runner today. Not today, probably the next couple weeks. Um, so I did an intro video on this one a little while ago. This is my son's daily driver. It's got 340,000 miles on it. I already did the water pump stuff, front end, bottom end repairs. So she should be good for another, I don't know, 300,000 miles. But as you can see, the bumper's messed up. I bought it from a guy. His mom hit a deer, so I've been let my son drive it the way it is, because basically I figure he's going to run into something too. But he's been driving for a couple of years now. He's 18, so I think it's probably ready to go ahead and fix this thing up for him. So my plan is to go ahead and get some stock bumpers and front valance. Actually repair this stuff the proper way. I'm going to take off the running boards. I'm going to leave the fenders on. I think I'm going to leave them gray along with it. I kind of like this gray on white. I'll leave all this trim on. I'm going to probably take it off the paint. I'm going to leave all that on and just show you how bad the bumpers are. This one's actually all busted up. I did a lot of research on the bumpers to try to figure out who's got the cheapest one. Of course, I think someone's already tried to repaint it once and they didn't do a very good job. Didn't match some things up. Who knows? There might even be a new door. Oh, and then the hood's a different color because when I bought the truck, the hood was all crumpled up in the front too. So this is a different colored hood. Got from the junkyard. Let's see here. And of course, the rear bumper is a typical 98 4runner 3rd gen rear bumper. So we're going to replace that. He's got a little bit of a issue here. I want to see if I can't fix that up for him. And then paint it. I'm going to just reshoot it white. I'm not going to do too big of a deal, or trying to do too much with it. You fix some of these like bubble spots and fix that spot over there, of course, and then just shoot it real quick and see if we can't make it look decent. I'll probably go ahead and take all the limited stickers off because none of them are very good shape. Either they're busted off. Toyota's pretty good right there. I might take that off too. That one's gone. So this one's actually in decent shape. I might put that one back on there. But yeah, so that's my plan, just to kind of paint it and make it look nice. Maybe paint up the hitch a little bit. The luggage rack is a little gnarly too. I might just leave that alone because quite honestly, the truck's got 340,000 miles on it. I don't think it's going to, drive forever and ever and ever. This is kind of crap. So I don't know if someone repainted this once already or what, but that's the plan. So kind of a bargain build, bargain refresh. I did go on Taco Vinyl and I might put some stickers on it. I had some decals. I haven't decided yet. This grill's already new. I already replaced that. It's just black plastic. I might just leave that black like that. I kind of like it. So we'll see what that looks like. But so this is the before. This is the before shot, what she looks like. And then hopefully I'll get to do a nice refresh. Oh, bumper. That's what I was talking about. Cheapest place, Amazon, believe it or not. I would Rock Auto and all other places online. Once you throw shipping in there, Amazon was the cheapest. I'll see what the quality is. Oh, I'm also getting a fender because this fender's kind of buckled in. From the wreck, and I really don't want to try to fix that. The lights, at least, I did replace these light fixtures already because this was all smashed in. I think that light was gone, that corner was gone, the grill was gone. I think those are original over here. And then of course these little bumper, I don't know, inserts, whatever you want to call them. Those are all, I put those in there too, but they're just kind of flapping right now. I got to get those on there right. So. Don't make fun of me too much with my safety wire job here. I actually found the bracket to fix this, so that's gonna come off too. But and if you guys know where a nice insulation pad that I don't have to cut out from from a stock one, I'd like to replace this too because it's just trashed. But this is nice before, and then hopefully she'll be a nice refresh and make it look, it even sits funny. Yeah, I got new shocks and struts coming too because that needs to be replaced. So, all right, fun stuff. All right, updates. This wasn't too bad getting off. Pretty self-explanatory. I just do see that you got a little bit of a bent cross member right there. I'm going to have to straighten that out. Nothing really though that tricky other than the fact that I found out that these mounts are pretty gnarly. Not sure what I'm going to do with those quite yet. That's where the bumper wraps around and mounts on that. So got to do something about that. It's like that on both sides. So I'm guessing this is a common issue. So I'm not quite sure how they sell these brackets. It looks like it does bolt up there. I wonder if they sell these brackets. I have to go look online, see if they do. Took this fender off. This fender was busted up, so I'm going to replace it anyways. Got the running boards off. That's my shop lion. Keeping the mice away. Looks better already with the running board off. 3 bolts, 3 brackets, 3 bolts. I just disconnected from the frame. Not too bad of a job, except for I don't know how I'm gonna delete on this. Oh, I don't have to delete on it. I just popped it out. Okay, that's the fender. So I think we're gonna leave this gray on here. I kind of like it. Doesn't look too bad. It looks a little squarish right here, but it actually covers up. There's quite a bit of rust in this rocker panel right through here, so it actually kind of covers that up. So I'm definitely gonna leave that stuff on there. This is the issue I have. Yeah, that's all gone. That's gone. See, that's what it's supposed to look like over here. See this side, pretty good. This black bracket with metal around it. See how that is? I don't know. There's some kind of a drain here. There's a little drain tube in here. Black bracket on that. Yeah, black bracket with missing lots of stuff. So I didn't know this was here. Not sure how I'm going to address that yet. Oh, man, this might be a really short video because I don't know how I'm going to mess with that. I mean, technically it's all covered up with the bumper when the bumper wraps all the way around and covers this whole area up. So maybe I can do a really crappy job welding some steel in here just to seal it up. But man, that's harsh. That's gonna take some work. Let's see. Nothing really tricky about this. So there's you've never taken these bumpers off before. See that plastic piece just kind of pops off. Pry that off. Got bolts here, 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 and here. And then the bolts on the back side of the brackets here. My brackets are pretty ratted out. I don't know. They sell these. If I can get these, I'm just going to have to live with them. All these bolts were so rusted that I had to just cut them off. Cut all these bolts right off from the back side. So that was a lot of fun. These ones came off pretty easily. And of course the headlights, two screws and slide that way. I learned that because I busted this off. There, it's supposed to slide that way, not this way, but that way. So broke that one, and then this one came off a lot easier. Yeah, so far so good. I gotta get this running board off, and then we'll be done taking things off, and then I'm gonna have to address the missing, the aerodynamic speed reduction stuff going on there. Figure that out.
All right,
a little bit of an update. Got all the panels off. Kind of a pain in the butt and some serious rust in this thing. I got all the plastic panels off. I'm gonna put those back on. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna paint them back to silver they were or something else, but really all when these things come off here, they just kind of pop off. These just pop, these little plastic things that come in holes. And then this piece has they have a couple little pieces down here. You have to kind of work on sliding off. This one right here for the front doors, if you slide that backwards, if you pop all those off and slide it backwards, that'll slide off that thing and not break it. And I'm finding more and more kind of rust. The frame of this thing is rock solid, but these rockers are going to need some help. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. I'm not much of a body guy. I can weld, but I don't weld well, and I don't weld pretty. So we'll see. But yeah, so got that off. I think it looks better already. Personally, I like the looks of this cleaned up like this. Obviously, I can't leave it like this because it's going to have all these holes. So I'll be putting the plastic back on. But yeah, leaving the running boards off, and then putting the trim back on, and then someday sliders, right? Rock sliders. So there's a little update. All right, there's a finished project. Jeez. This stuff went on pretty good. I liked it a lot. Oh, and one other thing too, I scuffed it up. I did a 400 grit sandpaper, make sure you got all the cracks and crevices. So maybe that'll help it stick a little bit better. Maybe it'll help it so it doesn't break off in time. Only time will tell, but I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of, the finish is kind of a flat matte finish with a little bit of roughage to it, but I like it so far. We'll see how it stands up with the test of time. All right, I'm in the paint prep now. Let's see, I did some undercoating of the bottom of the frame, that sort of thing. I got everything taped off. I have my first sanding done. So when I plan on doing this, this isn't going to be a professional, great paint booth type paint job. It's just going to make it look better than it was. The paint was pretty trashed. Yeah, different color hood than the rest of the car, that sort of thing. It was all bashed in from those before photos. So I'm going to make it look good. I think it will. So I'm still going to do like a primer encapsulator. So there's a couple little rust spots here, and I'm going to make sure it'll pop back through again. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to primer it, and I'm going to put at least one coat on, maybe two of the white after the primer. This stuff is really thin, the stuff that came from the factory. So far all I've done is an 80 grit sandpaper. I'm going to do 80 and then 120 and then probably 400 and then call it good. And that's really just to rough up the paint to try to have the paint adhere to something. But as you can see, even with the 80 grit, I'm getting through the steel in a lot of spots. So it definitely needs to be primed. You can't just go with this with the base like that. So now to do it the right way, you go right down the steel for everything. But like I said, I just want to make it look better than it did. So it's gonna be pretty on the cheap. Not the greatest job. So you can see where I get the metal on a lot of these spots, just with the 80 grit. Of course, I'm not even going to worry about painting down here because this is where all the trim and stuff is going to go back on at. So I'm not even going to worry about painting that. I mean, I'll overspray it and shoot it. That brown stuff you see right there, that's some of that rust reformer I put underneath. These rockers and some spots in the rear wheel wells are pretty rough. But it's all covered up with the trim anyway. So like I said, it'll look better than it did. Again, you can see that I went right down to the metal and just spots. But yeah, this factory paint job isn't all that thick to begin with. They must just do one base coat over top of primer, and I really don't. The primer's probably gray, I'm guessing. So I had one little spot of bond over here I had to do. There was some rust coming through where this window seal was at. Again, that's not great, but it's going to look better than having a hole in the rusty line going down the back of the truck. So I got a little dent right there too. So I'm not worried about dents. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff because, again, it'll just look like it'll look better than it did. Pretty much on the cheap. I think in primer and paint total, I'm going to spend probably a couple $100. Throw sandpaper in there. Ooh, I missed a big giant spot right here. So what I'm trying to do is get rid of, I don't know if you guys can see this with the light. So right here, you can kind of see some shiny. Right, that's probably the clear coat from the factory. I want to get all that off. So I missed a big spot right there. I didn't do a very good job blowing it off as I went. But you can see the rest of it's kind of dulled up. But that spot right there, I got to get that shiny off there, which I'll come back through. Like I said, I'm still going to do 120 and 400. Yeah, the best thing to do with these things too is do it in a well-lit area so you can really see when you miss spots like that, and not to do that. So I'll probably go hit it one real quick time with the 80 and then 120, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like after the 400, but before the paint job. So there you go. All right, my last shot before shooting the primer on it. So I did the 80, 120, 400 grit. So this is what it looks like. And down the metal in some of the spots. Took the shine off everything, so got the clear coat off everything. This is that new fender, so it doesn't look like anything because it's already primered. Yeah, you can kind of see what I had to do here. So it's ready to be primered right now. What I'm using to paint is this cool little thing. This is a Fuji turbine sprayer. It's a T model. These are pretty slick little units. I got my gun set up here. This is my new gun. That's my old gun, but this one I'm using today. 1.5 millimeter needle. This is my 1.8. This is the wrong one. So 1.5 is in there. This stuff, if you guys haven't used these sprayers for your cars, it's pretty nice. Almost no overspray. That's why I can get away with doing this, my improvised paint booth here, because the overspray is minimal. Maybe I'll take a video as I'm doing this or something, because you almost can't even tell I'm spraying in here. It's so nice. I don't have to worry about it getting all over things. Using the air compressor, you have that gap up there and that tarp right there. It's gonna let spray get over down the other side of my garage getting stuff. This won't be like that at all. So maybe I'll snap a shot real quick, or a video real quick of me after I shoot it. But this is ready for primer, sealer. So I'll get that on, and then maybe one more video before I put the final coat on. Okay, kind of skipped ahead a few steps. Primer, epoxy coat, 2 coats of bright white. Used Eastman's Lovac single stage white paint. Stuff goes on really nice. Really, I'm not even going to clear coat it or anything. I'm just going to do it the way it is. It's called bright white. I've used it before. I mean, if you run it really shiny and you want to be able to polish it, I guess clear coat it. But again, this is a 340,000 mile truck. Looks way better than it did. Yeah, the epoxy is kind of a pain in the butt, but if you get it out and go on clean and on straight, it did a pretty good job. I'm just starting to take the tape and stuff off the windows. So yeah, it looks a lot better. Probably whiter than it actually was to start out with. Funny thing is, you know, I didn't need a guide coat for this truck because it used to sit out in the yard a lot, and it got a lot of hard water sprinkler stains on it, so the truck was kind of stained yellow. So I kind of used that as my guide coat when I was doing my sanding. But yeah, it looks pretty nice. I don't care about all the overspray. I know people, you know, get mad at me because I didn't tape this off or whatever. But again, it's just my son's daily driver. It's going to look a lot better than it did. So there we go. There's the white on it. Hopefully, next I'll start getting some grill pieces on, some bumpers on, and some trim. See what it looks like. All right, so I'm seeing a problem with what I did with this trim. I used that truck bed liner. It's really hard to keep clean, so don't do what I did. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting it on anyways, but man, it's going to be hard to keep clean. I think because the rough surface of it, it's going to be a kind of a pain. So in hindsight, maybe I should have just got some plastic paint and done that instead, or maybe try to strip them completely clean down to the bare plastic and done it. Yeah, for now, it looks like it's durable enough. It's not going to chip off or flake off, but it's going to be a pain in the butt to keep clean. So that's where I'm at right now with it. I'm going to go ahead and put it on anyway, just see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm already seeing that as being an issue. So don't do what I did. Do something else other than truck bed liner. Almost done. All right, getting closer. I bought some stickers from Taco Vinyl. I like this look. You know, I love the old TRD Toyota colors. I thought that'd be kind of cool to do on the fenders here. I forget what they cost, but I got them off Taco Vinyl. Really high quality, real easy to put on. They look great. They feel pretty heavy duty, so I think that they're gonna do well. But this is the kind of look I was gonna go for. I'm still waiting for rear axle, so I need to do some bearing changes. So if you guys ever done rear axle bearings on these trucks, you can't do them in your shop unless you have like the special tool and you have a fairly decent sized press. So I took the axles out, took them to the local Toyota dealership, and they're going to do them for me. So if you have one of those available, I'm not sure what they're going to cost you. Maybe I'll still throw that in a later video. But they were pretty bad, so I'm glad I got to that. But I like this look. I'm going to leave these pieces of the trim, because there's a little piece that goes right here on the bumper, off. I kind of I just like the looks of that better, honestly. And I think, well, there's no holes here there's clips that go right here on both ends of this, and I would have to drill a hole. I don't feel like doing that, and the one from the other side was missing anyways. So yeah, so I think it looks okay. So far so good. I think it's looking really sharp so far. So I don't need to put the grill in still. Like I said, I already had a brand new grill for this thing. I just need to paint it and put it back in there. So I'm getting close, very, very close. It's probably going to be a few days before I get those axles in. So hopefully the next video I'll have a complete truck out in the sun and see what it looks like. All right, so here's the finished product. Like I said, looks a lot better than it did. I know this is kind of goofy and kind of cliche, but my son's a Star Wars nerd, so he enjoyed it. New bumpers. I got some overspray on these tires. You gotta clean them off. That's ridiculous. But yeah, the paint looks a lot better. Got the black instead of the silver on the bottom. I really like the way it turned out. I love these stripes. These stripes are pretty nice. They look like pretty well quality too. New bumper on the front. We went ahead and painted this front grille just with some black auto enamel. Of course, don't forget our favorite little hood ornament here. It's kind of mediocre. But yeah, good finished product. I think it looks a lot better than it did. I think it looks pretty sweet. And the whole thing, bumpers, shock struts, rear bearings, paint. Is that all I did? That's all I did, right? About $1,000 for all of it. Probably a little less, actually, a little less than $1,000. So from that beat up 3 different color kind of piece of junk that it was to kind of, I think, it looking like a pretty sweet rig now, about $1,000. So I do suggest that these bumpers you can get off Amazon. They're pretty decent quality, so I would stick with those. So that's the end of the video, guys. Thanks.